it's relatively clear to me Bitcoin dominance seems to have topped out here, but Bitcoin continues to drive higher, right? So Bitcoin dominance right now is about 65%. It was 40% in at the peak of alt season in 2021. That is an insane amount of market cap, right? It's trillions of dollars of market cap. So if you do have a catch up, even if you have a drop to 55% or 60%, like that's a huge move in alts. And God forbid you do get a drop all the way down to 50 or 45 or 40. That is just like an insane move where there's tons of coins out there which will do like a 10 to 100x. So I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen. Like no one can predict the market. If we all could, then we wouldn't be here. But
Sure.
I do think if you're a gambler like we all are, and you're trying to assess your probability, and you're trying to assess your risk reward, and you're trying to assess your EV, taking that bet is a great bet, because if you're right, you've got 10x to 100x trades on your book. If you're wrong, sure, you're going to be down whatever it is, 30, 40, 50%. Maybe you won't even be down. Maybe you'll just underperform Bitcoin. It's not that bad, but you don't get many opportunities in your career to take these shots where you have a realistic chance, a good chance of making that many multiples. So I think you have to just take the chance. I think you have to gamble, really. And I'm not saying it's going to work out, but you got to take the gamble. And if you don't, I think you'll always be wondering, like, what if I did? So there's my little 2 minutes for you on everyone just to take a lot more risk here.
Yeah, I mean, when you said that if we're gamblers, like you don't need the if there. Like people are here to
exactly.
People are here to take the risk. Maybe they just need the nudge. So what's your kind of construction at the moment then? Because I think one of the interesting things about this cycle so far is that not enough, it appears anyway, that not enough people own Bitcoin. But now one of the things I guess you're not necessarily pushing for in any way, but it's just your view that Bitcoin dominance might have topped out. And now after everyone spent all their time in alts, missing the Bitcoin move, they're in danger of maybe going into Bitcoin when the other thing's going to move.
Yeah.
So is that kind of how you're constructing it in a way that, look, I guess some exposure to Bitcoin is always important.
Yeah. You can't not own Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is Bitcoin, and it always will be Bitcoin. And over a longer period of time, it will outperform everything. Like I don't contest that for a second. But if you do have an alt season, which maybe lasts for a few months, maybe it's even shorter than that, I don't know, things are going to move a crazy amount higher, and then they're probably going to dump a crazy amount lower as well. Like that's generally what happens. So I'm not saying like dive into alts and hold them for decades, because you're going to do much better holding Bitcoin for decades. But I am saying there may be an opportunity that's coming up. And I think people will have held alts for a long time, underperformed, and finally capitulate into Bitcoin. And people who are doing that trade right now, I think, may end up regretting it, because it's sort of like kind of like selling the lows a little bit. I guess you're buying the highs on Bitcoin dominance. So just think it's important to remember, like, alt season doesn't mean it's important to distinguish and discern what alt season means. It doesn't mean every altcoin is going to go outperform Bitcoin forever. And you'll see stuff like, oh, XRP is going to be the new Bitcoin, and like this kind of stuff. Like you shouldn't buy into that at all. But
Yeah,
you should realize that this thing can happen over a multi-month period, and you want to have the risk on for it. And also you want to be taking profits during it as well. You can't get yourself trapped into this thing where things are going to go up forever. So I just think we haven't seen that move yet. So it's at the beginning of it, and we have a good opportunity to add risk. But yeah, don't kid yourself into thinking like whatever altcoin you bought is the next greatest thing, unless it's wrecked, of course.